roll and it's spinning. What it do, what it do, what it do. It's the Funky Uncles coming to you live. Day before
Once
Thanksgiving.
again on a
Once
Wednesday
again.
night.
That's
Yes,
right.
sir.
That's right. So here we
Yes,
are
sir.
tonight celebrating our
Mm-hmm.
Thanksgiving for our love of music. That's what we doing. Everybody loves music. At one point or another,
Absolutely.
nobody's going to walk around with no bounce at all. Even people that can't even catch the beat, they going to try.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They might trip over the beat, but it's there.
Yeah.
So,
But let me let me do a little housekeeping, DR. We
go
appreciate
for it.
everybody tuning in. We got guests tonight, DJ KR, Kenny Cobb. Appreciate you gentlemen dropping through, man. Really, really appreciate that. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's chop it up, man. Like you said, we got a DJ and music segment tonight, man. And
more to
DJ
come.
KR. Yes, sir. DJ KR, what's up, man?
What's up, fellas? What's up, Cobb?
Yes, sir.
What's up?
Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
Say what?
Okay, I hear you. All right. I was
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Yeah, I'm good, fellas, man. Glad to be aboard, man. I like this platform you guys got, man. This is cool.
You know, you played your role in it,
Appreciate
man. We gotta always give you your props, man. That Funky Uncle insignia that everybody loves that we have on the hats and the thermoses.
Yes.
Hold up, I got the jacket right here. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for you, it wouldn't be.
Nah, it would be. It would still be, man. Your brand and your ideas is much stronger than just the logo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but as humans, that visual does a lot, man. That visual says, yeah, I saw that. That's dope right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that logo brought it to life, man. I can't lie, bro. That logo fits it, man.
I appreciate you guys.
That was spot on. Yes, sir.
Appreciate you guys, man. I'm honored to even, participate in it, man. Thank you.
Kenny Cobb, what's going on, cuzzo?
Nothing much. What's going on?
Nothing much. Another
man.
OG from the borough, Kenny Cobb.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Listen, another legend. BC legend too. You know.
For sure.
Cobb, how you been, man? What's been going on, bro?
I'm just hanging in there at work right now.
Right.
Barely working?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Cobb, what time you get off?
About 2 o'clock.
2 in the morning?
Yeah, it was supposed to be 10, but I'm staying till they close.
Where you working at?
Okay.
Wendy's.
Oh, okay. I didn't know this day open that late.
Yeah, right. Yeah. The drive-through don't close till 2.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
I'm trying to tag you guys in the video here on Facebook.
Yeah, my video froze up.
Yeah, he just froze.
Okay. He'll be able to come back in. He'll probably have to come back in. Which one are you now? Ken Cobb or Kenneth Cobb? Which one is it?
Ken.
Okay. I got you. Try to see who else we can get coming in. I'm gonna tag Kwame in this. I don't know what Kwame is into nowadays. You know, Kwame is always busy.
Yeah.
Especially he with that photography move too. Yeah, he stay on the go, man.
Okay. Real.
Stay on the go.
Hey, let me do it. Okay. Hey. Oh well. We'll find a way. All right. So, hey, Kay, I want to start you off. You the DJ, and I had a question that I want to ask all the DJs. It's gonna come full circle. But the first thing I want to ask you is your top 5 artists. Because with you being in the music, I know it's something about the artistry. Each artist that may grab you, and it may be somebody that nobody really thinks of. That you say, yo, if you break their music down, you just have to salute the genius that is them. So who are your top 5 artists?
You're talking about presently, right?
No, of all time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, when you say artists, you're talking about singers, or you're talking about producers?
Art,
Talking about...
art, whatever the art form that you want to put them in. Top 5.
Since it's a hip hop show, let's say MCs, top 5 MCs of
Okay.
all time. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Yeah.
MCs or producers. Let's put the
right. Let's
because they
kind of narrow it
as
down.
the DJs as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As a group,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna throw Public Enemy in there.
Okay.
I gotta throw KRS-One in there.
Okay.
I gotta throw Biggie in there.
Okay.
I gotta throw A Tribe Called Quest in there.
Okay.
I gotta throw Dr. Dre in there.
Okay.
Okay.
And one more, right?
Okay.
One more, right?
Let's see.
One more, right?
We got Dre, Tribe,
KRS-One,
and KRS-One. Yeah, that's 4.
Yeah, one more.
I'm gonna throw Uncle L in there for his longevity.
Okay.
And the fact that he stayed relevant all these years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can't argue with them 5.
No, you can't, because everybody, each one of those have had their influence and on the culture itself.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what made hip hop a culture. You had different brands, different factions, but it was still hip hop. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
Because I would have thrown the Wu-Tang in, as a group. But I get Tribe. You can't go wrong with Tribe. I mean,
no, you can't go wrong
either
with
way.
Tribe.
Pub PE, one of my favorite groups all time. I still listen to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Hey, so let me ask you, DJ KR, let me ask you this.
Yep.
What would you named a lot of artists from what I call the golden era of hip hop.
Okay.
What era, decade-wise, would you say that is the golden era of hip hop?
Well, it depends on what you mean by golden. I mean, you talking about the foundation, or you talking about
when it was at its height, and we had various artists from West Coast, East Coast, the South,
that's the 90s.
Yeah.
Over the 80s, bro.
Yeah, because
there was more
what
from different areas.
You gotta okay. So look at it this way. So in the 80s, you had the foundational groups. You had Run DMC, you had LL, you had Grandmaster Flash. You had those groups. They were the foundation, so they were building. And like I tell people all the time, back in those days, whenever a group came out with an album, you just bought it. You didn't You didn't worry about hearing a 30-second snippet. you just
not at all. Not at all. Right. Not at all.
When Big Daddy Kane dropped an album, you just bought it because it's going to be dope. So I'm saying the 90s over the 80s because the 90s, you got to remember, it was the beginning of gangster rap. It was the beginning of backpack rap, if you want to call it that. Conscious rap.
Right. It was a message behind the music back then.
But there was still party records out there too. In the mid 90s, you still had Biggie and Tupac at their height. Even though they died early, they had a heavy influence, on the 90s. And I was in the clubs real hard in the 90s.
If we're being honest. If we're being honest.
I'm saying in a little bit of the 80s, I was in the clubs too, but real hard in the 90s. So I saw how it went from being underground to being commercial.
Right.
What I'm saying? There were a lot of underground artists in the 80s, but in the 90s, it became a lot more commercial.
Right. We have
Right.
a comment that says 80s rap, 90s hip hop.
Okay. I got
Yeah,
you.
I can see that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see that. I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can
Mhm.
see that, but you got to remember, man, hip hop had like 6 elements. So
Yeah.
Word.
it's been hip
Word.
hop. It's been
There
hip
you
hop from the
go.
beginning.
Right.
Yes.
It's always been
Yes.
hip hop from the
Indeed.
beginning.
Okay.
Rap
Okay.
is just a part of hip hop.
Yeah. It's a culture. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a culture. It's actually a culture.
Right.
I'd have to agree with the 90s for the main reason that, as we were saying when he first got into it, there were groups from different areas who were heard.
Right.
Because before the 90s, we didn't get a lot of West Coast mainstream. We didn't
Right.
get Midwest mainstream. We didn't get South mainstream. The main things that we heard in the 80s all the way through the 80s was New York, and you got a little Philly sprinkled in there here and there. But once the 90s came, you had your Outkast, you had your Luke was 80s, but they really weren't playing him like that. Then that's when the 90s, when you got your Scarface, you got your Bone Thugs and Harmony, you got Snoop and Dre and everybody. Because if I'm not mistaken, NWA dropped that was what 89, 90 when NWA dropped.
It might have been.
Yeah.
It might have been a
88,
little bit.
88,
89. Might have been 88.
So,
yeah. Might have been 88.
Yeah. But they hit once they hit who else was Digital Underground, so they like ushered in the 90s and gave us a whole different sound, a whole different flavor, which is still part of the culture, but it's something different. Because at this point you had different areas that didn't want to sound like New York. We're not New York. We're gonna give you what's good for us, and to me that was beautiful.
Yeah. When it started factioning off like the South, Midwest, I thought that was cool for hip hop, man, because everybody got to tell their story their way and how they lived, and it was pretty cool, man. Yeah. 90s was pretty cool, man.
I think also, man, when that whole East Coast West Coast beef started, I think a lot of people, man, took sides and they missed out on a lot of good music. Because I knew people that from the West that wasn't listening to East Coast Too Tough and vice versa, but they missed out on a lot of music. Me, as a DJ, you had to play everything.
Right.
When I was in college, the DJ had to play West Coast. He had to play Miami bass. He had to play dance hall. He had to play house music. You had to play house music. You had to play, hip hop. You had R&B. You had to do it all. And it's just. I just think people missed out on a lot taking sides, man. I didn't personally take sides because I listened to both of those guys,
Right.
Yeah, I just hated escalated into that bullshit, man. And not to get off topic, but I think the media had a lot to play with that shit too, man.
Yeah.
Back then, the influential mainstream media, man, just hyped it up to where it was uncontrollable, man. So but
I think we had an advantage actually living where we lived. We were all in college around the same time. Mine is Josh, he's a little younger, but being that we are in South Carolina and from South Carolina, we didn't have our own sound, so we didn't have that bias that lots of places had. Because if you say South, it was Miami, Atlanta, or somewhere else, but it was never South Carolina sound. So I remember being in college. Yeah, I liked Top Authority. I liked the West Coast. Devin the Dude. What's the guy named Richie Rich? I liked all them cats. T-La, all them cats. It didn't matter where you were from. I liked the sound that you had. I liked your rhymes. Wu-Tang drop. Okay, we got some more New York. So it didn't matter,
Wu-Tang,
and we had that advantage that we weren't
Wu-Tang,
biased to any one sound.
Right. And let me say this too, because in the 80s when I was in high school, I don't know if a lot of people paid attention, man, but South Carolina had some of the best radio stations around.
Yep.
Because like I said, they didn't take sides. They played everything.
Yeah.
And this was in the 80s. This wasn't in the 90s. This was in the 80s. So I listened to radio pretty heavy, and we was pretty much playing a lot of everything. And I remember a time in New York where in the 80s, it was like, if it wasn't from New York, they wasn't playing it.
No play.
And I think,
For real,
real.
yeah.
I think the first group that kind of broke that mold was Naughty by Nature. And they were from right across the bridge. They were from New Jersey. And
Right.
it's like I always tell people, man, that whatever you do in life, just be undeniably dope. And Naughty by Nature was that. You know, they were undeniably dope. They could have been from Australia, but they were just dope. You know,
Yeah.
Right.
And they got that play. Queen Latifah put them on, and after that,
Flavor
man,
Unit.
yeah, after that, they broke the floodgates opened, and you know, then you got Bone Thugs and Harmony, and you got all these other groups from all these different places. Nelly, you know, from St.
Right.
Louis, you know, you got all these different places, like y'all said, you know, that had a voice, you know, and had something to say, and I think that was a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Big Six, what's up, man?
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro. What's going on, man?
Hanging in there, man. Been having a few problems in life, but I've been hanging in there.
That's it, bro.
Yeah, that's it,
You
man.
hang in
But
there.
Keep going, brother. Keep
You
going,
know we
man.
here. We here as always.
We glad you here too. We glad you
Exactly.
here and join with us, man. Real
Yeah.
talk, man. So, what's your thoughts on the music thing, man? Hip hop in general. Where do you see it, bro?
Okay, well, on the chat thing, I said hip hop is dead now. I said the South got shitted on in the '80s, early '90s, and you know what I'm saying? Like the South, it got recognized when Andre 3000 said that statement at the Source Awards. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, people didn't pay attention to it because Suge Knight did what he did and said, if you don't want no producers dancing in your videos and stuff like that, you know how
I
that
remember that shit. Yeah, I remember that shit.
yeah,
That shit was crazy.
yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to the South Carolina, I mean, we got a bunch of people that could have made it, but to me, the reason why they didn't make it ain't because of the mainstream media, is because they didn't want to come together. Nigga shit.
Yeah, we gonna always have that.
Yeah. That's an issue though.
Yeah.
You know, that's an issue.
Think about it. All right, okay. Young Jeezy is from Greenville, South Carolina, but he don't claim it.
Really?
Yeah, he's
Get
from
the fuck
Greenville.
out of here.
Yeah, he's from Greenville, South Carolina. He don't claim it. He don't claim it. The Young Jeezy.
What?
Yeah, Young, the dude named Young Rue, he's from Columbia, South Carolina. He came out with a song. Well, I don't know if y'all know it was a stripper song called Nasty Song. Yeah, he came.
Yeah.
Okay.
The nasty song. I love it when
Yeah.
the freaky when
You
the
know that
band
one,
is
huh?
on. Yeah.
My
Yes,
favorite,
sir.
my favorite artist from South Carolina. I have never met this dude, but I listen to his music. He's from Charleston, South Carolina. His name is Pacino Dino.
I heard of him.
I don't know. Yeah, and then you got it's a guy from Walterboro, South Carolina. He did a song with Rick Ross and Gucci Man. I can't get his name.
Nick Grant.
No,
Talking about Waters?
Scooter.
Young
Scooter?
Young Scooter. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we know Scooter.
Yeah.
Speaking of Nick Grant, man.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean,
Shout
what
out to
y'all think?
Scooter. Shout out to Nick Grant. You know,
Word,
man, cats
word,
from the
man.
borough doing your thing.
Word.
Keep it up, man. Keep it up.
For real.
I mean, you got a bunch of people. You got a bunch of people from the South in different states that contributed to songs and stuff, but they got caught up in the action. That's all I can say.
As part of the reason for that is until this current era, they had to know someone, and they had to be in a different area, because South Carolina itself wasn't putting out that talent. They went elsewhere, and it's not just South Carolina. It was North Carolina and Alabama and stuff like that. They went to Atlanta, or in the 90s they went to Louisiana.
No, Drew. If you really think about it, South Carolina got slept on. No, Georgia, North Carolina, and Florida got more recognition than South Carolina.
But Josh, what I'm saying is, where did they go to get put on? Did they get put on? I'm talking about back in the days. I'm not talking about now, because you can go independent now. I'm talking about back in the days. Now. Right. Back in the days, they had to go link up with somebody like Jermaine Dupri. They had to link up with somebody who was already out there. They weren't doing it just from South Carolina. They might have got their roots and their skills while they were home, but they had to go out. Look, think about Jodeci. Jodeci from right there in North Carolina, they had to go and sleep in the streets in New York to get put on.
You can't count Florida because Uncle Luke did his thing. They banned that man. Come on, man. Uncle Luke, think about it. Think about it. The University of Miami, when it was coming up, they had they had Uncle Luke as the spokesman, and they banned his man music. I said in North Carolina, you had a few people, but you had Peter Pablo. Peter Pablo ain't had to go nowhere.
Who did Peter Pablo sign with?
He signed with Jive Records.
Okay, and where is Jive Records?
But think about it.
Where's Jive Records?
Drew, I know about Peter Pablo before he signed. He had that one-hit wonder. And it just flew. We can't talk about Georgia. You know what I'm saying? Because Georgia, you know what I'm saying? Like, Georgia is like the staple. But if you think about it, South Carolina did not get the love that North Carolina and Florida and Georgia got. Come on, Drew.
Oh no, like I said, because we never did it from South Carolina. Like I said, you look at all these artists. What you're overlooking.
We weren't known for no rapping shit.
South Carolina didn't have the record companies. That's what I'm saying. South Carolina didn't have the record companies, so you can't say you jumped out there from South Carolina because South Carolina didn't have the record companies. You had to go somewhere that had right. That's why Miami had the resources, because Luke was already out. So when they had Poison Clan and them boys that came out and that Florida music, Miami already had that. I'm not Miami, but Florida in general already had that base. South Carolina never had that base.
When it comes to Florida and the South, and when it came to Miami, Uncle Luke rode the wave. He rode the wave of the Miami Hurricanes. If you really think about it, if you look at that documentary about the U, Uncle Luke helped the university recruit them boys.
Hell yeah. But he knew them boys from the hood, though. Yeah. He knew them boys from the hood.
Think about it. Think about it. They
knew them from Little League, playing Little League and shit. He just knew them kids.
And they kept a lot of that talent in-house. In-house.
Right.
That was the advantage. They knew who they were dealing with. They knew what they were dealing with.
That was like a farm league to the U, man.
Right.
Think about it. They had on that documentary, they had three white coaches, and one of them was able to go to the hood and recruit. I think it was the first one. But when they was recruiting, it was like, man, it's the same thing about if you watch that documentary about SMU, where they come to they call the Pony Express.
Yeah, Eric Dickerson and them boys.
Right, but Big Six, I don't want to get off into sports, man. I want to keep it on hip hop and music. Yeah. We want to
we flowing
stay
that
on
sports thing. We be
topic.
going all night.
Yeah, I can easily get into it because I got a lot of questions. But yeah, we want to
Now,
keep it on music and hip hop, DJing, and
now
the
the
Yeah.
culture of hip hop. And being that it's hip hop's 50th birthday, we can kind of,
Yeah.
combine
So
all that into one.
the
here's
West
a
Coast.
crazy question I want to ask the DJ. Is there any artist, and just be honest, you don't have to name them, any artist that you cringe when somebody asks you to play some of their music?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Hey, but
Okay.
you know what? Hey, but you know what? You know what? Music is subjective, man.
Yeah.
I mean, and you got to understand, just because I don't like something doesn't mean like I'm not gonna play it for a client or whatever.
Right.
You know, I play what I'm getting paid to play. Now,
providing the service.
now
Right.
what's being played in my car is
Mhm.
what I like. So yeah, there may be some artists I cringe at, and I don't want to be that grumpy old man. You know what I'm saying? Because
Okay.
there are a lot of new artists that I like. You know,
Right.
and I think, and I
But-
gotta give a lot of these
Uh-huh.
young guys the credit, because we had
Yeah.
a conversation earlier. Scott and I had a conversation earlier about, like, what if we had the equipment and the gear and the means to record back in the 80s like these guys do today? Like,
y'all
like
would have set the bar so high.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Y'all
Yo,
would have set the bar so high.
Shout
Right.
out to Spec. I see we got Spec on here. Spec, did you get the link? If not, I can text you the link so you can jump on too. That's Hip Hop Doc, as you like to call him, G.
Okay, what's up, Doc? Yeah, come on up, Doc. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
come on up,
Let the
Spec.
Doc come on up, man.
Shoot.
I know, DJ. I know some songs you cannot play in South Carolina clubs. You know what I'm saying? Cause think about it. Like, you a DJ, and it be some times they say, you know what, I ain't feel like being at this club, so I'm gonna play this song.
Man, you about to
In
start
South-
some shit. You
Yeah,
about to
in
start some shit.
In South Carolina, if you in the club, you say, you know what, I didn't feel like DJing tonight. I'm gonna play Pastor Troy.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna play Lil Jon and Eastside Boys.
Yeah, I remember them days. The tear the club
Yeah.
up thing. Yeah, I remember.
Hey,
I don't
I'm
wanna do
leaving.
that.
I'm leaving the goddamn club. I'll catch y'all later, man. I'll holler at y'all tomorrow. Y'all tell me what happened.
Hey Keith, here's one for everybody watching and they're at a party, just in case they don't know etiquette. All right, first off, what's the worst thing to do with a DJ when you go up to the DJ at the club? Is it worse to say, well, can you play this, that, and the third, or what is like the worst thing they can do with you as a DJ to make you just be like, man, if you don't back up off me, I got like 6 drinks I'm gonna throw on you.
Well, I mean, it's probably twofold, man. One, depending on the kind of event I'm doing, like if I got people on the dance floor, man, and I got them in the groove, and like, let's say I'm playing like 120 beats per minute, you know, some super fast stuff, not super fast, but up tempo music.
Right.
Like I had a lady come to me and say, you know, I got everybody on the dance floor. She comes up and says, can you play This Girl Is on Fire by Alicia Keys? And I'm like, if I play this, they're gonna shoot me on the spot. Because it's gonna clear the dance floor.
Right.
So every once in a while, somebody with a good ear for music will come up and ask me to play something that's right along the lines of what I'm already spinning.
Okay.
And if they do, like, I'm throwing it on either the next song or the song after, because it fits the mix that I'm doing and I can blend it in seamlessly. But every once in a while, somebody will come and ask for something like, you know, it's gonna kill the vibe. It's just gonna kill the vibe. You know,
reading the room makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, because what people don't realize is, man, a lot of times, man, when you lose a dance floor, man, hey, man, it's hard to get it back.
Okay.
People might start going home, man.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it kills the vibe, man. You know,
It does.
it's hard to get them back out there, man.
Welcome to the show, Simeon.
What up, Simi?
Long
They just
time,
walked
man.
in.
Long time since you've been on the show, bro.
What up, Sim?
Can't hear you. Did
Can
you
you
mute
hear
your
you?
mic? Let me see.
Yeah, unmute your mic, bro.
Yeah,
Okay, I didn't. It ain't muted on this end.
he going through that Josh syndrome. Yo, Josh, clear your mic. Clear
Okay,
your mic.
welcome to the stage. Not to cut you off, Josh. Spectac.
What's up, DJ Spec?
AKA the Hip Hop Doc.
What's going
Hip
on?
Hop
Because you
Doc,
missed the
what's
show.
up,
You
man?
missed the show we had with Spec on there before, man. You had to go back and catch that one too, Josh. Josh, you don't like. He got an album drop, and dang, I got me dang on. Anyway, you make sure you check out that album. Go ahead, y'all. I'm excited.
What's up, Doc?
Yo, what's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
All right, man. How you been,
Good.
man?
Hey, man, it's been crazy
What's
on the
going on?
road, but I'm glad to be down for a week and a couple of days before I got to hit it again. But it's good, man. So no complaints, man.
That's right.
All right, good.
That's right. So,
Indeed,
what you got cooking up, Doc? Hip Hop Doc, what you got cooking, man? You dropped something lately? Tell us about it, man.
Yeah, man. We dropped a single this past Friday on all streaming platforms. Yeah, y'all is the single Spectac and Amari featuring DJ Shakim.
Yeah, Shock is my boy.
Yeah, Shakim laid that scratch and cut down for that joint, man. He went nuts on it. So
yeah,
we dropped that this past Friday, December 6th. The label indie out of New Jersey, Ill Adrenaline Records, they're gonna drop the video for the second single, Relax, and then December 13th, the actual full-length album drops on the 13th, and the video for the first single, Yeah Y'all, is gonna come shortly after that. So they're stacking it up, man. But we having a good time, man. You know, everybody working full-time jobs except Shakim, and I shouldn't say that because that is his job, the new addition these days. But yeah, man. So it's good. No complaints, man.
Yeah,
hey, man, that's what's up, Doc. You an OG in the game and you still working. And hey, go check that out on all the platforms, man.
Yeah,
and,
appreciate you.
Real.
Plug, man. Appreciate
absolutely,
you.
man.
Man, you know I've been waiting for this for years. How many times have I asked you over the years? I mean, it's been over 10 years. I'm when the next album? When the next album? When the next album? I know you was getting tired of me. I was like that little kid. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
Hey, Drew, man, that's a loaded response coming, but to keep it short and sweet, man. You know, you just go through phases, man. I mean, one thing I told cats a long time ago, we went through this phase where a lot of the brothers was like, rap is dead. I ain't listening no more. I ain't doing it no more. And I was like, yo, man, if you hip hop, it's always going to be in you. You're going to be 90 years old and nod your head for a track. Like that's just what it is, man.
Right.
But
it's in you, man.
For me, it was a lot of soul searching because I had to take a step back, man. You know, when our son, when he signed this major record deal, of course, you know, he signed with Young Thug, YSL, and those guys, and and at first I was really in a funk, like, really, man, like this is where you're gonna go with it. And then as I got to know kids personally, and I just realized, man, you know what? It's just not my generation of music, and there is nothing wrong with that, man. So it's hip hop. Somebody said earlier, I was listening in for a while, and music being subjective, and that's true, man. I tell people all the time, like, think about artwork in general. We all know hip hop is the art. Hip hop music is the art, and as sure as it's an art, you can't tell me when you walk into a museum you love every picture you see hanging on the wall. You don't.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
You don't.
But it's all art, man. It's all art. You
You're
just find your
right,
lane
man.
and what moves you, and that's just what it is, man. So yeah, man. I mean, that's as short as I can answer that. So yeah, we back, and we having fun, man.
That's it, man. That's it. Appreciate you, Doc. Appreciate you, man.
Hey, we gotta get your top 5 too, man. Your top 5 artists.
Yeah. Of all time.
All time.
I mean, I can only go by what inspired me. I got to first throw Run DMC. I mean, honestly, The reason I
Okay.
probably just fell in love with hip hop when I heard Sucker MC. I know that's a little late in the game for heads my age and older, but that was the one that did it for me. I didn't even really recognize the art form like that until I heard Sucker MC. And that was around 83, man, and I just fell in love. So that's one. I definitely got to throw it to Tribe Called Quest. I'm that group guy, man. I mean, surprisingly, was a huge Pete Rock and CL fan. You know, Big Daddy Kane can't leave
Of
Kane off the
course.
list.
The
And
legend.
and then my fifth, and I know I kept it all East Coast, but again, I heard that conversation earlier. I was that dude. I was that dude that grew up in South Carolina. But if anybody asked me between 89 to 90 something, I would have lied and said I was from New York and didn't even know one damn street in New York. But I was just that hardcore of a fan of that New York hip hop. But anyway, that being said, you go ahead and throw it up in the air. Rakim, KRS One, like that's just what it was, man. But I hate that question, Drew, because honestly, man, any given day, like you guys can start calling names now, and of course I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, I forgot him, I forgot her, and
it was so many artists back then, man. You know what I mean?
And see, I wanted to make the question even harder, and that's why I said top 5 artists, not just hip hop, because being that hip hop was birthed, especially the beat style, the beat wise, it was birthed from funk, jazz.
So that means I got to do my list over.
For sure, I wasn't even thinking.
You see, that's what I wanted to hear, because there's a lot of people don't understand that when you're deep in the music, you're gonna hear somebody like, "Hold up, now what?" Because a lot of the beats that they hear, especially we came up. I'm trying to get Simeon. When we came up, I don't know about y'all, but I would hear certain samples, and I'm like, I know that song. I know that song. I know that song. You know, especially when it got to the 90s when sampling was so heavy.
Yeah.
Oh, I know that song. Who is that artist? So if it wasn't for them and the heavy influence, look at the East Coast the West Coast, the funk had such a heavy influence on Dr. Dre early on. You would hear all types of everything dealing with the funk, coming from Dre. So I know the art itself is heavily influenced by everything that came before.
Yeah, I'm gonna be short. I'm not even gonna try to name 5. But I can tell you, I got through college like everybody thought because I was rhyming all the time.
Yeah,
I was listening to rap all the time, but all through college, man, it was strictly Bob Marley and Tracy Chapman. Like I had probably everything you could find that was a Bob Marley recording. I'm talking Bob Marley before the Locks, when he was like trying to do like the Motown type vibe, like that Bob Marley into the reggae days. Yeah, so I was Bob Marley and Tracy Chapman, man, and I've always, like right now, I got all the Tracy Chapman albums. They can probably sing any one of those songs when they pop on. I can go word for word. That's what it was for me, yo. That's the music that put me in that special place, that headspace I wanted to be in, man, to just get through the day-to-day grind.
No doubt. How about you, DJ KR? Who are those other artists that just you be like, yo, I just had to get my day started, or it kept my day going?
Well, I mean, Earth, Wind, and Fire, of course. You know,
classic.
And
that's what I'm talking about.
I mean, that's like arguably one of the greatest groups of all time. So, and man, Prince, man.
Oh, I knew that was coming.
Boy,
man. I mean,
boy.
Oh man.
Okay, so Spectac. I know you know what I'm talking about, because like the young cats that started out with CDs, like they probably can't remember reading liner notes on an album.
Woo.
So I was always reading liner notes to see who the session artists were, who played the bass, who played the drums, who played the horns, who played the keys. So like when you look at Prince's albums, man, he did it all.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? The only reason he needed a band was to go on tour.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so like, man, his stuff was so dope.
On that one.
It was just so dope, man. I mean, I just can't even put it into words, man.
And
So,
before him, James Brown, pretty much, that's that's those two guys right there. I would say, to the most talented I would say in my lifetime.
Yeah, I've heard stories that even at rehearsal, he would find his band members for messing up in practice.
Yeah.
And they used to have 8-hour rehearsal sessions, bro.
Yeah.
They was putting in
hours.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And I'm gonna say this too, man. And this might be funny, but D Train was that dude, man.
Oh,
nah, man. So like Earth, Wind & Fire, Prince, Lionel Richie, one of the greatest songwriters of our time.
Okay.
Right?
Lionel.
Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
hard to disagree with those, man.
I gotta put Michael Jackson in there too, man. That right there.
Yeah.
And like Spectac said, man, there's so many people we leaving out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Marvin Gaye.
Yeah. Real, man.
Luther Vandross.
Yeah. Smokey Robinson when it comes to that penmanship too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
man. Yeah,
Smokey penned a lot of hits.
Hey, man. Ashford and Simpson, man.
Yeah.
And Nick Ashford, he died some years ago, man, but he's from South Carolina as well.
Really?
Yeah, he's from what's the name of the town? Oh my goodness.
I didn't know that, man.
It's right between Columbia and Orangeburg.
St. Matthews?
Nah.
St. Matthews.
I think it starts with an F.
Swanson.
No.
Swanson.
No, not
Swanson.
Let me see it. Let me Google it.
Yeah, we need a fact checker. Yeah, but
starts with an F?
Yeah, I think it's not Fairfield. Is it Fairfield?
Fairfield?
You said
Nick Ashford.
Yeah.
You said Romeo and Orangeburg.
Somewhere up there near I-20.
Oh, okay.
There's his wiki. Fairfield County.
Okay, yeah.
South Carolina. Yep. As a matter of fact, his funeral was there. I think he died during the pandemic. What year did he stay through?
Fairfax.
Yeah.
Fairfield.
Fairfield County.
Yeah, but what year did it say?
Hold on here. He was born in 41 in Fairfield County.
But he died when?
August 22nd, 2011.
Oh, 2011. I don't know what. Wow. Okay, my timeline is off. But
hold up. Let me make sure. Yeah, it says 2011.
Okay.
And his wife died. Valerie Simpson died. It says 2011 as well.
Damn.
Wow.
And both of them were August babies.
Wow.
Well,
yeah, man. So it's a lot of when you say top five, man, I think that's subjective as well.
Yeah.
Everybody's
but
top five.
But being that your top five goes that deep, it shows your love of music.
Yeah.
Like I said, you're a DJ, you feel the vibe, you flow, and not only do you flow, but you live the music. You breathe, you guys breathe the music. So it's not like you can get stuck in one genre.
No,
there are so many genres that you hear things, you hear lines, you hear rhythms, you hear patterns, you hear chords, you hear all this, and it's just like it's all music. So there's really no genre. The genre is music itself.
Hey, let me tell you a funny story. All right, so I got a little DJ circle, and we share music all the time. So this one DJ, he asked me for some music. So I shared a couple of crates with him, and one of the crates was a disco crate, right? So I grew up listening to disco music in New York, right? So the reason I like disco is because one, they use real instruments, right? And two, it had no limitations, man. A song could be 12 minutes long, right? And
Sure
and
did.
and three is really hard to mix because they weren't using metronomes back then. So it's like, really, real artists, real musicians using real instruments, and sometimes a song would drift a little bit.
Mm.
So you have to have your hands on that turntable, man. You got to control it. So I gave this dude some music, and he calls me up and said, "Hey, man, when I saw this list and I saw this crate, man," he said, "I thought you was gay." I said, "Like, why?"
Huh?
He's like, "Because you had all this disco music in there." And I'm like, "Dude, I don't know where, well, I do know where it came from, but it had a lot of negative connotations, man, attached to that music, man. But man, disco was some great music, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So he
That-
assumed you were El Gibbet because you had disco
Give
music.
it. He
Huh?
said, "If it."
He assumed you were El Gibbet because you had disco music.
Oh yeah.
God damn, boy, that's
That's what it
narrow
said.
minded.
Give it.
That just seemed narrow minded to me in a way, man. I mean,
Yeah, hey, but
I
you know
wouldn't
what's funny?
associate that with,
Yeah, but it wasn't
Nah.
just him. It wasn't just him.
Huh?
A lot of people thought that way back in the day.
Really.
Yeah, but hey, man, I listen to it all the time. I mix it all the time.
Mm.
Still play it all the
That's
time.
some good music, man.
Hey, man, a lot of
Jesus.
samples. A lot of samples.
Yeah.
Some of these rap songs we listening to came from disco.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I love that
Exactly.
disco sound, man.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Man, listen.
That disco and that Parliament funk,
Yeah.
P-Funk. Oh man.
As a
Yes, sir.
musician, like he said, some of those songs are like 10, 11, 12 minutes. As a musician, any musicians out there know how hard it is to keep that same tempo going that long, especially a percussionist.
Yeah.
I mean, that you have your forearms and all had to be in such good, be like Popeye over there, in such good shape to keep that timing for that long.
And you
My
know
God.
what, man? I mean, honestly, like growing up as a kid and like remembering my dad playing some of his favorites, man.
Mhm.
I had a hard time when we got to this space where a song was literally a minute and 30 seconds or a minute and 45 seconds. Like,
Okay.
I get it. I get it. New age, attention spans, not what it used to be. But man,
Right.
I love nothing more than my pops throwing on one of those Barry White vinyls, man.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Yes, sir.
Barry would be 3 minutes into the record before he starts singing.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
but I loved it.
Yeah.
Man. I loved it, dude.
Yeah.
I loved
Hey,
it.
For real.
hey, Spectac. Hey, Spectac. Check it.
Yeah, man.
I did a party one night. A guy was turning 65, and he wanted a lot of like shag music
Yep.
and Motown, right?
Yep.
And man, I had to get my mind right, man, because a lot of those songs are only 2 minutes long, 3 minutes long.
All day.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting there
All day.
talking and chatting, the song about to run out.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? So
There you go.
yeah.
Yeah, man. That's what's up.
Nah, and that's real, man. It's funny. Like I wouldn't have thought that until you said it, but you're right, man. Because I'm even thinking back to some of those like Otis Redding classics, man. Those songs,
Yeah.
2.5
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah,
Get
man.
out of there.
Yeah, man.
Hey,
In and out.
they say what they gotta say and then go.
Yeah.
Right.
Nothing in between. No
Yeah.
fillers.
It didn't
Hey,
take
but you
them
know what?
boys long to get started.
Hey, man, that music is perfect for today because everybody's attention spans ain't even that long. You know?
Nah, for sure.
I know, right?
For sure.
A minute and a half R&B song. You're a 3-pump chump, man.
Man,
You know.
man.
3-pump. Lord have mercy.
Woo.
3-pump chump.
Oh Lord. So Spec, with your new album coming out, and you're working with Amari and
Shakim.
Shakim and who else?
No other special guests, man. That's it.
Okay, because I know there was some other guests in there. I was like, who's that? Who's that? Who's that? So Sky Zoo. Who's Sky Zoo? And then you had what's my man name from Benedict? Fat Cat.
Yep.
You had Fat Cat on
Fat
there.
Rat.
Fat Rat. Yeah, Fat
Yep.
Rat. Yeah,
Yep.
so I'm like, okay, who are these other people? I'm like, who's Warren Wynn?
Yeah.
I'm sitting there asking who these people are. Now I gotta research them.
Yep.
So, you know,
Yep.
and that was how it was a lot, you know, even let's say in the 90s when you
Yeah.
had artists who came out and they'd have a feature. Redman did it in like, you know, that's one of my favorites.
Mhm.
Reggie Noble, boy, he always
Mhm.
had, Hurricane G and what's the
Hey,
guy named Government man. Listen, I'm like,
hey,
okay,
hey, man!
whoa.
Shout out to Large Professor that gave us the barbecue and that Nas joint.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That was the vibe. Then though, that was a vibe, man. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm. So,
Yep.
so you guys, in your professional opinions, there are people that are saying, some popular people saying that there is one region that's ruling hip hop right now as far as putting out the most music that people are really listening to. Would you agree with that, or would you agree it's kind of getting to this? It's just depends on where you live.
Mm.
Mm.
That's a good question, man. I'm gonna be honest. And I'm not deep on the social media, so I haven't
Mhm.
even heard that argument personally. But you know, I'm trying to think, and I don't know, man. I mean, are they saying the West Coast is doing the
They're
most right
saying
now?
they're saying the South is still running things.
Okay, all right, yeah, yeah,
Uh,
Drew.
Yeah.
I don't have a
yeah.
dog in that fight.
I mean, right now, I don't know I don't know who running. You know, it's pretty much everybody's independent. Are the labels still,
True,
putting artists on, or you just doing it independently now?
true,
What's the route? Because I know it ain't like it used to be. So
true,
Right.
true,
yeah.
true.
And,
Hey,
and,
Key,
and we all
I'm gonna go back to something you guys were saying earlier, man, and just to give my take on it. But I was talking with some cats a few weeks ago, and they were mentioning South Carolina and South Carolina hip hop and why it was so hard to get an artist out of South Carolina. And
Mhm.
you know, I don't know how much teeth this has, but many years ago, when I was still in college, there was a really big promoter who came from up north, and not going to call his name, but we were sitting down, and he had worked with the majors, and at the time was working with the major, and I asked a question about South Carolina as an artist looking to break into the scene, and he pulled me to
Hmm.
the side and he said, "Son," he said, "the folks up top, when we sit down and talk, the last thing we want to do is have an artist come out of South Carolina because we don't want South Carolina to develop what these other regions have done, which is develop their own unique sound." He said, "We love the idea that no matter what record we put out, we know South Carolina is going to be a true testing ground to see how good that record is, because it's not going to be that bias of, oh, it ain't got that West Coast flair, it ain't got that up north
Hmm.
flair." Like, he was like, it was intentional that they didn't want anybody to break out of the Carolinas for that reason, because they wanted to keep the Carolinas one of the few testing grounds for any type of music that came out in that R&B hip hop sort of genre sector. So again, take it with a grain of salt, but that's literally what dude said to me face to face.
Hey,
and
man.
That's what Big
Hey,
Six was just talking about, right?
yeah, and
yeah,
that's what I was saying.
that makes a lot of sense, man, because like I was telling them back in the 80s when I was in high school here in South Carolina, man, we had some of the best radio stations, man, because they played everything.
Yep.
Everything. I
Mm.
mean,
You're
there
right.
And
was
we
no
got it first.
yeah,
That's a big thing.
You're
We
right.
got, and I think we still do. We got it first. I had family from New York that would come down and say, "I never heard this song. I've been
yeah,
listening to it for 3 months,
Yep.
yeah,
and you never heard it."
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Real
Yeah,
talk though, man. Dude
yeah,
told
yeah,
me that straight
Yeah.
up. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Uh-huh. That
That
Yep.
makes sense.
explains it then.
Yeah.
That
Yep.
explains it, because you ain't gonna tell me we didn't have no talent in South Carolina.
right.
Now, you know, what's funny is we should have had a foundation here back in the 80s, in the early 80s, because, you know, Angie Stone, you know, was in
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
sequence. And they was from out of
Yep.
Columbia,
Yep.
Yep.
you know.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
So the foundation could have been set back then. I don't know what happened, but
Hmm.
you
Yep.
know,
Well, like you
yeah,
Yep.
said, it all
It was
filtered through the
intentional.
larger companies.
yeah,
You
Right. It
know,
was intentional.
it's in that entertainment field. It's like that. They're running things until they're not.
Yeah.
and they haven't been overtaken. They hadn't been overtaken yet. Now it's more of, with everybody coming out individually. I don't
Mhm.
need your marketing money, your money
Right.
for videos. I'll do this myself. It may be me putting in the work, but at least I'll benefit from the fruits of my
Right.
labor,
Yep.
as opposed to you
Right.
saying, "Here's 500,000." You think you have 500,000, then they spend $1 million on a video, and now you owe them.
Yeah.
Right. I got a
Yep.
question for the hip hop doc, man.
Yeah,
And
man.
and I know you old school doc, but I just want to know your take on it.
Yep.
Do you see the new artists as paying their dues to make it like in the old days? It's a different way of doing it now. So do you see their way of doing it of still paying dues in order to get there, or they sort of had a cheat code with technology and didn't really,
Well, G, it's a double-edged sword, because when you say a cheat code with technology, fact is these cats are still working because they can do
Mhm.
things with social media I
Right.
can't even pull off.
I know,
So
right?
so in that itself lies some crazy work, especially for the artists that are truly doing it themselves. Like,
hmm
so if you don't give them credit for that, then it's easy to look at it and say, oh yeah, they got the cheat code, they got technology we didn't have, da da da. But can we even maneuver that technology? I know I can't do. I mean, I struggle just to make a post and write some text on the damn post.
Okay,
Like,
dude.
like,
I'm
like,
still learning this shit, Doc. I
so
ain't gonna
so
lie, man.
so that's what I'm saying, man. But at the same time, I watch these young cats, man. They'll put a post up in 5 minutes, and it looks
Man, they
like
whiz
fucking,
right through it.
yeah, it looks like a
hmm
dang magazine ad, man. So
hmm hmm
so I give them credit for that. It's
Yeah.
really, again, it's really like pulling a basketball player from the late 70s and comparing them to somebody right now in 2024. I mean, yeah, it's the Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, or whoever you want to call it now.
hmm Right.
Like yeah, man, we can sit here and definitely go back and forth on it, but I just think, man, it's evolved with the times, and those cats are still paying dues, but it's just done differently, man. I mean,
Yeah. I
um,
agree.
yeah. Do we take
hmm
credit from the truck drivers 10 years from now that are going to be able to literally hit cruise control and not touch the
Okay.
steering wheel for the whole rap,
Right.
versus the guys that had to hold the steering wheel,
Yeah. And
yeah,
shift
man.
gears.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and again, I respect everybody's take on it. I
hmm
like
hmm
having conversation, man, and I'm real big on it's all right if we don't agree. Let's not turn it
Right.
into an argument. Let's laugh about it, and guess what? When we walk away from the table, you got something to think about, hopefully, and I got something to think about, and that's
That's right.
the beauty of growth, man. But now
Yeah.
that's my take on it, man. It's just it's what it is for the time, man. It
It
I
really
got a
is.
is.
question
It
for
is.
both of you. I got a question for
It is.
both of you,
It's a
since
digital
you're both.
grind now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, what is your combination when it comes to music that was made, let's say, in our youth, in our glory days, in comparison to music that is made today? So is it more of a 50-50 mix? Is it more because there is some good music being made today. The problem, in my opinion, the problem is it's not getting promoted the way that music got promoted when we came along.
No doubt.
So I like the
hmm
artist, I'll say, like, what's his name? October London.
Mm-hmm.
Dude is fire.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he
But
is. Yes, he
but
is.
he's been out since what, 2016, and
Mm-hmm.
and he's really getting the push now.
Yep.
He's had
Wow.
how many albums has he had? He had what, 3, 4 albums already, and
I don't
we're
know.
not getting that. And
I thought
so,
the brother just came out. I thought he was
no,
just came
yo, when
out.
you Google it, this album here is not his first album. So now you got to
Wow.
go back and be like, yo, let me listen to what else this dude had.
Dude, for
So
real.
yeah. So, what's the mix that you listen to? Like when you vibing, you puffing on a cigar, you in your car to a gig, you know what I'm saying? What's the ratio?
Wow. Drew, you killing me, son. Yo, once again, I'm tapping out, but I'm gonna tap out with a response. So I was in where was I at, man? I want to say, yeah, Dallas, Texas, at a educational conference, and I went up to the little snack bar, grabbed like a donut or whatever and coffee, and there was a young black man behind the counter. If I had to guess, he was early 20s, if that. And I said, "Yo, my man," I said, "Who's your top three?" And he was like, "Top three?" I was like, "Hip hop artists." And he paused for a second. He was like, "I don't think you're gonna know them, man." And first of all, that was funny by itself. So I was like, "All right, what's up?" When I tell you my man named the first two, I had never heard of them. So once I responded 2 times, nah, I never heard of him. He just kind of chuckled and said, "I told you." He was like, well, my third one, somebody you might know. He called another name I didn't know, dude. So when he called a name, at this point, I felt so bad at this point. When he called the third one, I just went, "Oh, yeah. Like I didn't, because dog, I was
Just going
embarrassed,
along
bro.
with it.
Dog,
Yeah.
I was embarrassed, yo. I just went with the, "Oh yeah, I know that one." But yo, man. So that said, I know I'm in old school world, yo.
Yes. Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
quite frankly,
Yes.
J. Cole doesn't even qualify as a new artist now.
No, he doesn't.
Like he doesn't.
No. And I'm a Cole fan. You know, I like Cole,
And I'm a
man.
Cole
You know,
fan.
right? So
So people, when I hear new artists, my mind goes to like J. Cole, yo, and that's not a new artist, yo. That's not a new artist, man.
Cole been in the game for a minute now, man. You know,
So that's me, dog. I'm out.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I guess I gotta clarify a little more. The last 15 years or the previous 15 years to that. That's a better way of putting it.
If we doing that, then I'm probably half and half, like really. And
Okay.
thanks to Sirius satellite, because I mean I do bounce from the LL Rock the Bells, and
Yeah.
then at the same time I turn it on to catch that nice like just new, still underground, but like new hip hop. So
Right.
you know yeah, man. So yeah.
Mhm.
What about you,
That's what's
KR?
up, man.
Like I said before, man, I don't want to be that grumpy old dude, right? So
Get off my lawn.
No, so what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to listen to a lot of new artists, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And man, Lucky Day is a bad boy, man. If you're not into him, man, y'all need to check him out. But Lucky Day I like Lucky Day, man. He's a bad boy. I think Anderson .Paak is the baddest man on the planet.
That's a bad dude.
Him. I like him.
Yeah.
I like that brother.
If you get a chance, go back. You can go back and listen to some of his past albums, man. And
yeah, that's real. That's real.
Yeah, he's the bad boy. Anybody that can play the drums and sing at the same time.
Yeah.
Like I can't even pat my head and rub my belly at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So for a percentage, I mean, I'm always gonna be old school, man. I'm always gonna be old school because you know there's a such thing as timeless music, so it's never gonna get old to me. So I'm always old school. But I'm just saying, I'll say 60-40 old new because I'm still trying to learn about a lot of new artists, man.
Yeah, that's dope.
I think there's a segment of like one time, I ain't gonna lie to you, man, and this is no disrespect on a lot of the new female artists, but there was a time where I couldn't distinguish one from the other. I was like, wow, man, they all sound alike.
Okay, so it ain't just me. All right.
Yeah, right. Like
it ain't just me. Okay.
Like I used to get Summer Walker and SZA mixed up, you know, and
you know,
and
Tyler and some other girl,
Kali Uchis, and if that's her name. I'm sorry, no disrespect. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you. I feel you. Yeah,
you know. But I'm saying I try to listen to a lot of music. I got some people that make suggestions to me, and they send me songs. They send me links to albums. I got Apple Music, man, so I'm always
Mhm.
trying to
Mhm.
keep up with the new stuff, man. I do think there's some real talented
Right.
artists out there right now, but I'm old school at heart, man. That ain't never gonna die. And
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, bro.
you know,
Yeah, man.
I just one more. I'm gonna say one more thing though. I the only problem I have with most of the new music now is like it doesn't give you that stink face. Like
maybe the beat does.
when you
Some
I'm
beats
saying,
I hear,
you know what I'm saying?
but not the lyrics.
When the last time you heard a slapping bass on a new song, you see what I'm saying? So it's like
Oh
when
yeah,
you listen to Jamaica funk,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
you know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
yeah,
And I
Yeah,
don't
like
get
he was
that.
eating lemons and grapefruit. Like,
yeah,
ah,
yeah.
Exactly. Like I just came out the bathroom at the filling station. So
what?
I'm saying
I get
like
that.
I don't really get that. And I'm not saying all music.
Yeah,
Right.
no doubt.
Like
Mhm.
one of my favorite groups right now is the Internet.
Mm-hmm.
That's I don't want to say new, but I discovered them right before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Out of California. They bad, man. They play
What's
real
the group
instruments.
called?
They play real instruments. They dope.
What's the,
You know,
The
what's the
Internet?
group called?
The
The
Internet.
internet?
The
Yep,
Internet.
the
Go
Internet.
back and
Oh,
listen to their last 3 albums.
And he said
Okay.
3 albums. Okay.
Yeah. I'll
Damn,
never
the
I won't
internet.
hey
Okay.
listen, I will not steer you wrong.
Yeah,
Listen
Yo,
to their last 3 albums. But
I ain't gonna front. I heard 2 singles off of that new project that Dre and Snoop were working on, and they were bangers, yo.
I
Yeah.
can imagine. I can imagine.
I'm like, yo,
man.
So would you say some old school cats are still relevant in the game? I mean, they may not get the exposure, but as far as putting in the grind and loving what they do, I see that from Snoop and a lot of older artists. Y'all see the same thing, that they still got it, and
Redman's
really
still
some
flowing.
right, some places they sell more than some of the younger artists, man. Like if they go on a tour somewhere, you'll see like Method Man and Redman came to Columbia.
yeah.
Man, I heard it was live, man. You
Yo,
know,
when was that show?
October 18th, I think,
All right, yeah.
something like that. Yeah,
Yeah, I knew it was coming, but I didn't think it happened already.
yeah, because I was going out. I wanted to go, but I went out of town that weekend, and I
Yeah.
was like, damn. I heard it was a good show, man.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you, one of the biggest pet peeves that I have with today's music is my musicianship. And I've never been a top notch musician, but I have played instruments.
Mhm.
But to consistently hear what I call sprinkler beats, it's annoying to me.
Mhm.
And when I say sprinkler beats, I mean you have the continual hi-hat that really overpowers the cuts, the samples, and everything else throughout the whole song. So
Mhm.
all I'm hearing, it gets in my head, and all I hear is throughout the whole song. I'm like, can you turn that down a little bit? There's more to it than me knowing that somebody's getting their lawn sprinkled.
Child, yeah.
Please. Is it just me? I'm
Man.
saying, like I said, I've never been a top-notch musician, but I have had the musicianship, I can say probably better than the average. I can read
Yeah,
music.
you got an ear for it too, man. You know, you got to have an
And
ear.
I played 4 instruments. You know what I'm saying? To say that you take somebody from one instrument to another instrument that's on another clef, and they take first chair and have a solo in 6 months, you know what I'm saying? There's a little something there. I just never honed the craft, but that was all on natural talent. So the musicianship, I don't hear as much, because I think a lot of times we as humans, we'll take what's popular, and instead of wanting to do something and go off and create something that's even better, we'll roll with what's popular.
Mhm.
Right. And I got a question for DJ KR and the hip hop doc, man.
all right.
Would you say today's hip hop? What do you think about female rappers today, man? Would you say they're kind of leading the charge in hip hop now? Because sometimes I listen to the radio,
Yeah.
and all I hear is Sexy Red, Glorilla, Cardi B,
Oh,
Meg Thee Stallion. I mean,
Lord.
back to back. I'm like, wait a minute, man. Ain't no brothers making no music. You know, What's y'all thoughts on that, man?
Well,
How y'all see that?
I mean, I dig female rappers, and I even hate to call them female rappers. They're rappers to me, but I think I mean, I don't want to say that they're inundating the radio. I mean, there are quite a few of them out there that I listen to. I don't know, man. You ever heard of Rhapsody?
Rhapsody?
Yeah. Spectac, isn't she from North Carolina?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Rhapsody was signed with Ninth Wonder with Jamila Records. Yep.
Yeah, she's dope.
Okay.
She's dope. You guys need to listen to her. And
You got to send me a list after this, so you know when I get on this.
For real, bro.
I'm dead serious.
Some artists I ain't never heard of, man.
yeah.
And I'd like to check them out.
And Jean Grey is dope.
I heard of Jean Grey.
Yeah.
Heard of Jean Grey. Yeah.
I mean,
What genre of music is Jean Grey? What genre of music is that?
Jean and Rhapsody, man, same lane. They're underground, Jean Grey is definitely even more old school than Rhapsody. Jean Grey's been on the scene for as long as I've been on the scene almost. She's
Wow.
They're not
I never heard of these people, man.
Yeah, they're not household
not
names.
at all.
They're not household names, but I'll put them right up there with the rest of the ones that you know of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
So
now
that brings up a
Rhapsody,
question.
I think I heard of her. Yeah, go ahead, dude. I'm sorry, man.
I'm gonna bring up a question. Would you? Okay, I know Spec gonna hate me for this one. Would you say that there is more untapped talent being underground than there is in the mainstream? How about you, Keith? Because Keith, you hear a lot of these mugs, so you know.
I tell you what, I'll say yeah, and I'm gonna lean on the production side. There's a lot of beat makers, man, and producers, man, that you never heard of, man, making some really, really dope stuff, man. And I only imagine what my favorite rapper would sound like on this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And Scott, Scott Wiz is one of them. Wow, you know, I'm playing this stuff on the way down.
Scott, we was waiting on you. I was gonna try to play some of your stuff on here, man. That's all right. I did tell everybody about it. I'll keep telling people about it. Have you guys, any of you guys on TikTok heard that guy Sicko? SYKO?
No.
Bruh. Write it down, and when you get off here, go to Sicko and listen to some of those beats, and you'll be like, your jaw will drop. You'll be like, who is this dude? I'm talking about dude is hardcore. His beats be so hardcore sometimes make me want to grab a pen and paper.
Yeah.
Sicko.
So to answer that question, yeah, man, it's a lot of people you've never heard before underground.
I'm going to agree with that, and my story to back that for sure was when I was working in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. A friend of mine kept hounding me about going to Raleigh to meet this producer, and I remember at the time I was like, man, I said I got plenty of producers, man. I got Amari, I got Rodney, Shock M was delving in some beats. I was like, I'm good. He was like, nah, you really got to meet this dude, man. So finally one day, he didn't even tell me we were going. He just picked me up one Sunday, like, yo, you busy? I'm like, nah. He's like, let's ride up to Raleigh. Thinking nothing of it, I hopped in the car. So we pull up at this apartment, and he's like, remember that dude I told you about? I was like, yeah. He was like, this is Spot. I'm like, oh, you got me. So we go inside. I shake dude's hand. He immediately starts playing beats. I'll never forget, man. By the time he got to like the third or the fifth beat, I stopped him. I said, yo, man. I said, I ain't pulling your leg, dude. My exact words to him, I said, this is the greatest set of beats I've heard since Pete Rock. And he looked at me and he was like, man, you serious? I said, dude, I'm about to do you a favor, yo. I'm calling my manager. I stepped outside. I called my manager. I was like, yo, man, I just met a dude. I said, you know, I don't make phone calls like this. I said, these are some of the best beats I've heard in my life. Like, you got to sign this dude. Come up and meet him at least. My manager came up. He drove up from south of the border, so a few hours for him.
Yeah.
Met dude, felt the same way. I don't know, about 3-4 weeks later, my manager flew him up to New York. And when dude called me back, he was like, yo, Spec, I just did a track on the new Jay-Z Black album. That was Ninth Wonder.
Wow.
That was Ninth Wonder.
Ah,
Damn.
And that's how that story went. So I
Yeah.
definitely agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ninth Wonder.
Yeah.
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 That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
Wee. God
Yes, sir.
knows
Yes, sir. Hidden
this
talent,
music. Man, listen, it's all over. And I am appreciative that with the newer age, the talent isn't always as hidden as it used to be. People, it
Oh,
may
yeah.
get out slow,
Yeah.
but it gets out. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? There's nothing like being creative and being able to put it out there. When it's well received, it's great. But once you complete it,
Yeah.
and you're like, it's a release. Now, you know, be on to the next project soon. But just to get that out for the public, whether they,
Yeah.
like I said, whether it's in a large mass or short form, whatever it is, I know that feeling as an artist to just like have people like, you know what? I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It keeps you going.
Yeah.
It's fuel.
Yeah.
Hey, and this is my last question, man. I want to ask DJ KR and the hip hop doc. What aspects of today's hip hop do you like or do you embrace from what you see? You know, what aspects of hip hop you do like today, modern hip hop?
I mean, honestly, the short of it for me is I just love hearing good lyrics, man. I love a message in a song, you know. So I think regardless how diluted the game might get, you're always gonna have that component, and there's always gonna be those artists out there that are pushing the narrative. So for me personally, whenever I hear those things in a song, I get excited, man. That's what I get fired up about, you know. And then of course production. Like I'm real big on. Sometimes I don't want to even hear lyrics. I just want the production to move me. And I'm that dude. I can sit down and play instrumental music all day in the background.
Right.
And that alone can make my day. So those elements, man, if those are good, I'm a happy camper.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
KR?
Yeah, I agree with
DJ
I agree with Spectac on that. Production side is really the key to it all. I always tell people, man, you know, good music is not gonna hit you in the face, man. You gotta look for it. You know,
It grows on you, man. It grows on you.
well, I'm saying the radio's not gonna give it to you.
Right.
Oh yeah.
No, hell.
Right.
You gotta dig, and you know, DJs and producers, man, we dig all the time. So you gotta dig and you gotta look for music. And like I said, I get suggestions from other people, you know, who are kind of like like-minded individuals, man. And then I even, you know, part of the journey, like I tell a lot of young DJs, man, you know, who want music, hey man, you know, give me a hard drive with some music on it. It's like, yo, man, part of the journey is finding dope beats and finding music on your own. That's part of the journey. Yeah, I don't mind sharing. I don't mind sharing some dope stuff that I heard or whatever, but you know, to give you my entire library, I've been working on this library for the last 25 years. You know,
hell no.
I remember when Napster first came out, and I had a dial-up connection, man. It took 45 minutes, bro. It took 45 minutes to download one song.
No doubt.
You hear what I'm saying?
Yo.
And
No,
you hope
straight up.
nobody calls.
Yeah. Right.
You had to do that in the middle of the night because that phone ring, it just cut everything.
Yeah.
So I'm coming from that to like now I download a song in 3 seconds, less than 3 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Boom.
Real.
So, but I'm saying still the process of searching for new music, listening to new music, you know, you got everybody got Shazam on their phones and stuff, and
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
trying to find. I see people Shazamming what I play at events and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And every
Yeah.
once in a while, somebody will just come up to me and say, "Hey, who's that?" And when
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
tell you who it is,
Right.
you know, they go out and find it, and you know, I feel like, you know, I'm doing my job as a DJ to have people come up and ask me what it is. Everybody, you know, most people, they come to a party, they want to hear the same stuff they heard in the car on the way to the party.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
my job as a DJ is to sprinkle some stuff in there that you never heard.
Yeah.
Some stuff that'll make you say, "Hey man, who is that?" You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
Right.
and that's
Right.
our jobs, you know, and like what Spectacular, you know, as producers, man, they're coming up with new sounds every time. Everything doesn't sound the same.
Hey,
You know?
KR, it's crazy you said that about the Shazam, because sometimes, man, I'm watching a commercial, dude, and I hear
Yeah.
music in the background.
Yeah.
I'm like, Shazam, like
Yeah. Yeah.
that's real, yo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, but check it though. I've done it myself. Like I'll go to there's an outlet mall near my house in
Mhm.
Atlanta, right?
Mhm.
You know, they playing music from the speakers, and I hear something, and I'll be like, "Hey,"
Yep.
you know, pull out the phone, man. Shazam. It's like, wow.
Yep.
You know?
That's real,
Yeah.
yo.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
man.
real. That's
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
That's real.
For the love of music.
Hey, man, I'm totally off topic here, but it's killing me seeing it. Before I even came on cam, but KR, what's your favorite Star Wars movie, yo?
Oh.
I gotta go with the first one, man.
Woo!
Hey, but check it out. Let me tell you why I got a problem. And I'm a huge Star Wars fan.
Mm-hmm.
And my brother will tell you, when we were coming up, we had all the action figures, man.
Yeah, man, I was jealous.
Same here.
I was
Yeah,
jealous.
he's in the house. He is somewhere in the house. But we had all the action figures, the Millennium Falcon, all that, right?
Yep.
If we had that stuff today, you know how much it'd be worth? Like,
Nah, KR.
Damn.
First of all, your parents were definitely well off, kid, because I wasn't getting no damn Millennium Falcon.
no, yeah, we had the actual
Yeah.
Millennium
Yeah.
Falcon.
Yeah, I know. I can vouch for that.
Yeah, the top would
Yeah.
open up and you could put the action figures inside of it.
Dude,
With the place where you
Dude.
can hide the figure too.
Yes.
dude, if you
Yeah.
had the Millennium Falcon, y'all was doing all right, kid. For real.
Hey man, I grew up in the projects like everybody else.
I ain't gonna front, yo. I got the X-Wing fighter, and I was on cloud.
That's what I
I
had.
was on cloud 9. Like,
Okay.
That's what I had.
Hey,
yeah.
my brother had all of them, man. But I'm
Wow.
saying the first one, right? Because the first one was the origin story. Well,
Mhm.
it's not really the origin story. After
No, I got
four
you. I got you. I got you.
after 4 episodes, we realized it wasn't the origin story.
Right.
But I'm gonna say this. Okay, so that's my favorite to answer your question, right? But the thing that baffled me is, okay, so since the first one wasn't the origin story, as you go further in the story, it's supposed to go backwards, right?
Right.
So how come the stuff that came later, like the technology and the weapons, were more primitive than the stuff that was from before?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
It's weird.
Yeah.
You're
It's
right.
weird for me. Yeah.
It was just odd, man, because so much time had passed. Like,
Yeah.
that was and I mean, let's be real. Even when they did the first movie, that was the origin story. Everything else was sort of just in the mind, like, make it up as we go along.
Right.
Yo,
Yeah.
This thing is blowing up. We got to tell another story. That's what that became. But
Right.
yeah.
Right.
But New Hope is still the origin story as far as
Yeah. No doubt. Now I do like other ones. There's some other ones that I do like, but yeah. New Hope is the one, man.
Yeah.
Cause like I fell in love with Darth Vader, man. I wanted to be Darth Vader. Hey,
You know
Halloween.
what, man? Real talk. That's probably one of the first villains I fell in love with.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. I was a huge Skywalker fan,
Yeah.
but I knew Vader hit me because when he died in Return of the Jedi,
Yeah.
I damn near remember crying in the movies. so I knew Vader. Yeah. That was the first time my psyche kind of flipped on me like that, because you were supposed to hate Vader. But
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say one more thing on Star Wars, man. I had this album, right? Because, well, you know, I had a lot of vinyl and stuff when I was a kid. And it was called A Story of Star Wars. So basically this album, back, front, side, and back, was the actual entire movie on audio.
Oh,
so all the dialogue from the movie was on this vinyl.
Wow.
My mom's, I think the record is here in the attic somewhere, right? I'm at my
that's
mom's.
crazy.
But it's all scratched up, man. It looked like a cat was tap dancing on it, man. But so yeah, you can't even play it. But we got the record. The record is here. But hey, man, I studied that album back and forth. And people think I'm a weirdo because I ran into a dude today at the Walmart. He had a Star Wars shirt on, and I'm quoting the movie lines to him, and he looking at me like, "Whoa, how do you know that?" So I knew all the quotes. I knew all the lines from everything, man. Movie, man.
Wow.
That's from New Hope. Only New Hope. Yeah.
I gotta say thanks to
I'm gonna stop him right there. I know I'm gonna mess this up because I'm paraphrasing, but the one that gets me every time, man. Obi-Wan Kenobi. When last we met, I was but the learner. Now I am the master. Only the master of evil, dog.
Hey, that's the same line. That's the same line I told the dude in Walmart today.
Woo!
That's the same line I told the dude in Walmart today.
Woo! That's it, man. Gets me every time, dude.
Man.
That's it.
Yeah, James Earl Jones.
Vader.
Rest in peace, man. Rest in peace.
Yeah, man. Vader.
Yeah.
Salute.
Yep.
God knows. Yeah, I remember going over to Keith's house, me and Danny, and they had them toys, and Danny had the I had the X-Wing fighter. Danny had the what's the one that Darth Vader had? What's his
the TIE fighter, right?
TIE fighter.
Yep,
When you know you stick him in there and all that, and Danny had the Death Star. And I'm like, everybody getting all these toys. I better just be happy with my little Luke Skywalker over here because I ain't getting none of that.
Yep.
Yo, boys had it for
real talk though. Like as a kid, once again, and after the first movies came out, my mom, calling herself like a nice birthday treat, she got me a action figure and she got me Darth Vader, and I was so mad because I wanted Luke. I was so mad. I'll never forget. And KR, it's the Vader that's worth all the money now. Like I think it's like 20 G's for it now.
Yeah.
But I was so mad. I took that Vader. I took
the
that
tall one.
No. It was the regular size joint, but it was the one that had like the vinyl cape. Like
and the saber came out his arm.
Slide the sword out the arm.
Slide the sword. Yeah.
Oh man.
I was so mad she got me that. I went and took a rocket, dude. Take the Vader to a rocket and shot it up in the air and blew it up. And right now today, that's 20,000, son.
Wow.
Damn.
Wow.
Damn.
If you only had the vision to see the future, man.
No doubt.
Right.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, fellas, man, I'm gonna say happy Turkey Day to everybody, man.
Yes, sir. Me too.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Okay.
Fun,
Yeah.
man.
We gonna go ahead and shut this down. And what we gonna do now, like we always do, we gonna give everybody their final thoughts and how to reach them on social media for those that will watch this later and want to get at you. So whoever wants to go first, go ahead.
Hey, man, just hit me up at Dr. Mervyn Jenkins, all social media platforms, or at least 3 of them. And once again, man, fellas, always a pleasure. Appreciate you guys.
Always.
Much
Thank
love
you.
on these
Appreciate you,
holidays that are coming up fast upon us. And just keep doing what you're doing, man.
Hey,
Yes,
We
sir.
appreciate that, man. You
coming
know
up,
I be
Doc.
getting at you. You know I be getting
Thanks
at
a
you.
lot, Doc. Appreciate
pleasure,
you, man.
brother. I follow you, man, on social media, man.
Same here. Appreciate it.
All right. I'm
Yes,
at
sir. All right.
DJ KR, DEEJAY_KR. I'm only on Instagram. Well, I'm on Threads and I'm on X, but no Facebook.
Mhm. Got you.
Yep.
Appreciate you, gentlemen, coming up. Hip Hop Doc. Glad to see you, DKR. Always been love, man.
Salute.
Salute to everyone. Have a safe holiday. Enjoy the family. Eat some good food and watch some football, man.
Hey,
Oh yeah.
you guys
Sir.
be safe. Love y'all. Love all of y'all, man.
Love y'all, man.
Much
Peace,
love.
fellas.
Good, man.
All right.
Peace
All
to
right.
you.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
All right.
And that is our Funky Uncles episode for the night. Hope you enjoyed. Forgot to mention early on that all these brothers are representing HBCUs. So my HBCU family know that we're out here doing things. Make sure you follow those guys. And if there are any ideas you may have for the show, don't be afraid to hit me up. Funky Uncle Drew. Best to hit me up maybe on Instagram or TikTok. But we appreciate your patronage. Make sure you share, like, follow, and tell everybody about it. And until the next time, this is your Funky Uncle Drew. Salute, and I'm out.